They arrive in the thousands, sleek warships blotting out the stars, every hull etched with the jagged glyphs of the Zarketh Empire, a race that prided itself on dominance, subjugation, and annihilation. For over 200 cycles, the Zarketh had expanded unchecked through the Orion Arm, swallowing planets and species alike with terrifying precision. Now, they had reached Earth's final bastion, Sol Station 9, a relic of ancient Terran defense, hovering over Mars like a scarred sentinel. The humans had been pushed back, system by system, until only one remained. And so, the Zarketh General Vrozeal stood tall within the command deck of his war dreadnought, the Imperator Vengeance, surrounded by displays showing the crumbling perimeter of human resistance. "Transmit to the humans," Vrozeal growled, voice deep and coarse like volcanic ash. "Tell them they have 10 minutes to surrender, or I will rain fire on every trace of their species." The message was sent. Human comms were quiet for a full 3 minutes. Then the feed opened, and the face of a human commander flickered to life. She looked older than most Zarketh had seen, her uniform worn but polished, medals hanging like memories on her chest. She stood at ease. "Commander Alina Mercer," she said calmly, "Terran Defense Fleet." Vrozeal leaned in. "You are surrounded. Your weapons are outdated. Your reinforcements are gone. You are out of time. Surrender, and I may let your people serve." Her eyes didn't waver. And then she laughed. Not a polite laugh. Not nervous. Full-bodied, sharp, ringing with something ancient and defiant. The bridge of the Imperator Vengeance fell into stunned silence. Zarketh warriors shifted uncomfortably. Vrozeal's eyes narrowed. "Is something amusing?" Alina wiped a tear from her eye and grinned. "I just remembered a joke," she said, "about an alien who thought humanity ever surrendered." And then she cut the feed. Before Vrozeal could issue an order, the human fleet, what little of it remained, moved. But not away. Toward them. "They're charging us," said one of the Zarketh lieutenants, disbelief thick in his voice. "They only have 12 ships. We have 300. Vrozeal bared his fangs. "Let them come." The human ships surged forward in tight formation, engines burning bright. Vrozeal ordered full volley. Missiles, plasma bolts, ion lances, they lit the void with streaks of destruction. But the human ships dodged with precision no Zarketh had seen before. They were dancing. "What are they doing?" asked another officer. Then the first human ship exploded, but not into flame. Instead, a burst of electromagnetic pulses radiated outward. "EMP blast!" someone screamed. And then another, and another. The Zarketh fleet, built for brute power rather than finesse, had only moderate shielding against such attacks. One by one, their systems flickered. Screens dimmed. Targeting went offline. Engines hiccuped. But that wasn't the worst of it. From behind the human ships came the real threat. Stealth Terran corvettes, long-range artillery platforms, and what could only be described as cyber warfare pods. Thousands of tiny drones deployed, weaving through the chaos, entering hangars, latching onto hulls. Suddenly, Zarketh's ships were fighting each other. Systems corrupted. Fire control rerouted. Gravity turned inward on their own decks. The mighty Zarketh fleet, undefeated for centuries, was tearing itself apart. "Restore control." Vrozeal roared. "Purge the systems." But the AI defenses were already infected. And then the human fleet transmitted again. This time, not video, audio only. It was music. A song from Earth's ancient past, loud and defiant. A band of thunder and drums and screaming guitars. What is that?" one Zarketh officer whispered. "It's called heavy metal," said another, eyes wide with something bordering on reverence. "They're celebrating." Vrozeal slammed a clawed fist onto the console. "Prepare boarding units. We'll take their station. Personally." He needed to crush them with claws and fangs, show them what fear meant. But as the Zarketh pods launched and sped towards Sol Station 9, something unexpected happened. The station opened. Not weapons. Hangars. And out came the humans. Not in combat suits. In armor. Heavy, reinforced exoframes with emblazoned Terran sigils. Drop troopers. We didn't even think they had any left, Rosal muttered. The boarding battle began, and ended. Fast. Every corridor of the Zarketh entered became a tomb. The humans fought not with desperation, but with cold precision and terrifying efficiency. Their weapons were brutal. Their tactics suicidal but effective. Rooms sealed behind them. Atmosphere vented. Grenades rolled. And still they came. One Zarketh squad managed to capture a human alive. A young woman, bloodied but grinning. "You think you've won," she whispered. "This is just Mars. Earth hasn't even noticed you yet." Back on the Imperator Vengeance, Rosal watched as ship after ship darkened and died. One of the surviving Terran vessels, an old battlecruiser named Liberty's Grin, turned toward them. Its cannons glowed. "They're targeting us," the weapons officer stammered. "Return fire." Nothing happened. The weapon systems were locked. Rosal stared. "How?" Then the answer came, through the speakers. A voice. Calm. Male. Human. "Nice ship you got there, General. Shame if someone borrowed it." One of the cyber warfare pods had made it aboard. His flagship was no longer his. The Imperator Vengeance began turning on its allies. One by one, the remaining Zarketh ships jumped to hyperspace, retreating, fleeing, defeated. Rosal stood, shaking with rage. You monsters. We offered mercy. Why didn't you surrender?" The human voice replied, "Because you don't understand, General. Humans don't surrender. We adapt. We lose, and we come back smarter. We fall, and we rise meaner. We're not just survivors. We're the reckoning." And then the Liberty's Grin fired. A lance of plasma tore through the flagship's side, splitting its core. Rosal, in his final moments, looked out at the human fleet, not vast, not advanced, but terrifying in its will. He had seen countless species break. But humans? They laughed in the face of extinction.